Hey, this is Mason War, and you're listening to the Compounding Interest Podcast. This is the show where we dive into the incredible net worth compounding strategies with an occasional sprinkle of some hobby investing. So whether you're driving, working out, or just need some background noise, we want to bring you some entertainment and teach you a few things along the way. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you like what you're hearing.
But yeah, so basically the concept of the company, it has a super cool competitive advantage compared to any company that doesn't have a tax incentive, where what we do is we take people that want to get the tax strategy for buying a vehicle. We take their cars and we'll manage it for them. So we'll rent it out for them through either our app, through Turo, through our website, through any deals that we make with schools or hospitals or construction companies. I'm working with a construction company to for them to rent out a few vehicles a month.
Yep.
And just anything like that where we can rent out other people's vehicles so they don't have to manage it themselves.
Sure. This episode is brought to you by COS Accounting and Tax, helping individuals, small businesses, and independent contractors get the best possible tax outcomes. For more information, visit us at cosaccounting.com.
Hey guys, how's it going? It's Zach and Mason with Compounding Interests. We're happy to be back. I know it's been a little while. We're going to try and make this happen more often, but hey, we're busy.
Happens.
Yeah.
So busy. So it's a good problem.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about some of those.
Yes, we are.
All right, so let's talk about the patent bred
shoe of the day.
The Glossy McGlosters.
Yep. This was on the Nike app, the sneakers app.
Sneaks. Yep.
I applied for them and I got in the draw and I won. Mason got in the draw and didn't.
No, he got exclusive access, which was your very first time getting exclusive.
Yep.
Which was really cool because if you look closely, that says family.
Family.
So he got the exclusive family access.
I don't know if that.
It's probably because Jordan knew that you were such a big fan growing up.
Probably, yeah.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Let me send some to
we were sitting there,
ZB.
Courtside, Bulls, Jazz, many moons ago, and I remember yelling at him. He probably remembers.
Yeah, he probably remembers you from 97, 98, 98, 99 season.
Yep, and the Wizards games. We'd go down,
the last
act
dance.
like we were just getting to go into our seats on like the 8th row, and then when security wasn't looking, we'd walk all the way down onto the court behind the camera setup when they were doing their like practice shots.
You would?
Yep, and we would just stand there and kind of act like you're part of the camera crew while looking over and watching them from like 10 feet away.
Really?
And it was, dude, we never got in trouble for it.
Did you,
It was me and Steve Conklin. Shout out to Steve Conklin.
What up, Steve?
What up, Steve?
I don't know you.
He's a chef out of...
oh, that's the guy.
Yep, out of
Houston
and Austin. I think he's in Austin now, but
do you know the name of his restaurant?
Dude, he's moving restaurants all the time, but he's been at, I want to say Le Bernardin. It's probably the wrong, probably saying it wrong. But
Steve,
he was there in New York City.
We're sending people your way.
No, that's when he was in New York City. Okay. And it was...
Don't go there.
It was like the Quiet Rat or something. And I'm totally joking about that. But
Rat?
No, it was some weird French name for something. In my head, I'm thinking it was something rat, but I don't know why you'd put that in your name.
So there's a whole movie based on that, and it's actually a rat.
That's why I thought. Oh my gosh!
So it's a crazy story. You probably haven't seen this, but the rat climbs on the guy's head
and pulls
his hair, and he controls him.
Yeah,
it's based on a true story, based on Steve. Yeah,
he honestly has done that. I know it sounds weird.
Yeah,
but he has.
Nice.
Honest. Truth.
Yeah. Okay, nice. Okay, so these are, the classic Jordan right here, black and red.
Yep, the ones, they're super cool.
red toe.
I love that they're glossy just because it's different.
I hate the gloss.
Yeah, but if you look at this, I mean,
it is like weather protecting, but I feel
Yeah.
like you'd wear them and the gloss on top would start separating from.
nah. I mean, maybe if you had a super
Maybe,
cheap Walmart
yeah.
shoe, but these are Jordans.
See, I'm used to cheap Walmart shoes. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up on those. So.
Yeah, we got a couple glossy ones. There's the blacks. Those are pretty
Yeah,
sweet
we have-
too.
Yeah, and then they have gloss on some of these other ones, like the cool gray.
Yeah. See, this is like just enough gloss where it's super cool. These.
That was the shoe though.
Yeah, I like it.
Cool. All right. So anyway, this is the shoe. Again, it's better because it has the family in it. All shoes don't have. All these ones don't have the family, right?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure, but I saw that in there and thought it was unique. I tried to look on the pictures to
show?
see, and I couldn't see it on any of them. But it doesn't exactly
I wonder if
show.
StockX it would show.
I'm guessing it would, yeah. But maybe let's look that
I'll
up
leave that right there.
at another time.
Yeah, great. Okay, so
Yeah.
while we're, I guess, getting started, tell everybody what's been going on.
Okay, so, ever since, I got into business, you and I early on became partners in a company that we ended up shutting down because of just you and I just felt like the partner dynamic was not correct.
It wasn't going the right direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we shut it down, even though we're quite successful. We flipped some homes
Yep.
and made like 18% return for people in 4 months.
Yeah, in months. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
And then, we just felt the dynamic wasn't there, so we shut it down.
There was a tech company we got into,
Yep.
and then it was like a really early startup.
Yep.
Yeah,
Ended up not being great.
right.
But yeah, it was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun kind of getting that was your first CEO role, and just getting that experience of starting some sort of startup and seeing how it might go. But since then I've been looking for, I've seen companies like all these solar companies, right, that have this competitive advantage compared to other businesses. And what's that? It's the credit,
Tax credit.
The tax credit makes it an unbelievably easy sell compared to if there was no tax credit. There would only be a few solar companies out, if any.
People would still do solar because
Some
they like
would.
the idea of it. They're trying to get
Yes.
off the grid and that sort of
But
thing.
nowhere near the same amount.
No way.
So yeah, that was one of them. Another one was Tesla, seeing that Tesla would be bankrupt like 100 times over if not for the EV car credits they get for each car they build. So I've been looking for something like that, and finally put together an idea called Write Off, and talked with Mason about it.
Yep.
Mason thought it sounded awesome, so we decided, hey, let's give it a shot and get it started, see how it goes. And it's been super fun. It's grown so fast. We've sold some chunks of the company, have a pretty good valuation on the company already after 3.5 weeks.
Yep.
And we're going to do some cool things like hopefully kind of a episode type things showing the daily ins and outs of a startup company, what you have to go through, the different hurdles that we overcome.
Yep.
Every little thing, because we thought, how valuable would that be, right?
Yeah. Not many people see that side of starting a business, of what it takes to start, and some of the challenges that you go through, and some of the things that come up just on a regular basis. And so we want to capture that and essentially create kind of like a documentary series that is, creating a unicorn, or building a big company, and what it takes from the very beginning, and kind of document our whole life during that. And I think it's going to be something that people will be interested in, because you don't see that. Like, you see some of the, like Duck Dynasty, but the company's already been built. Like, what is it like when it goes from the beginning?
Yeah, the new show called Uber on Showtime. It's a reenactment of what they went through. There was also the Facebook show.
Yeah.
What was it called?
Yeah, The Social Network.
The Social Network. That was a total reenactment of what they say happened.
Yeah.
But how cool would it be had they recorded on a daily basis, had a camera crew recording everything that was going on? To me, that would be one of the most valuable things I could watch.
Yeah.
Because
you learn so much from this. I like the show. Have you ever seen The Prophet?
Yes,
show?
Love that show.
Love that show. But again, you're seeing him come in after the company's already been created.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's going through, and I love that he goes through the three things of like focusing on the process, the people, and the product.
Yep.
And focusing on those and improving them significantly. I think it's the coolest idea. This is similar to that.
Yeah.
It's what it'll be like.
Yeah, we just want to do it, from the beginning, do it right.
Yeah.
Hopefully not have too many issues, where that are super hard to fix. We don't have to call in a prophet or someone like him, but we will if we have to.
Marcus
That's one of the
Lemonis.
things.
That's his
yeah.
name. Yep.
I love that guy.
Yeah, he's cool.
But yeah, so basically the concept of the company, it has a super cool competitive advantage compared to any company that doesn't have a tax incentive, where what we do is we take people that want to get the tax strategy for buying a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
We take their cars and we'll manage it for them. So we'll rent it out for them through either our app, through Turo, through our website, through any deals that we make with schools or hospitals or construction companies. I'm working with a construction company to for them to rent out a few vehicles a month.
Yep.
And just anything like that where we can rent out other people's vehicles so they don't have to manage it themselves.
Sure.
So it's really cool because let's say you make $200,000 on a W-2 or a 1099. If it's on W-2, you're going to have the opportunity to go out and buy two $100,000 cars for $5,000 down a piece, or whatever the banks make you put down. If it's your first time, they're probably going to make you put down a little more.
Mm-hmm.
But if you've got great credit, it should be $5,000.
Yeah.
So you put down $5,000 on two cars for $100,000, and now the $50,000 you paid in taxes, that's all going to come back to you now. So all you did was put $5,000 down on two vehicles
into an asset. It's a depreciating asset, but it's an asset nonetheless.
Yep.
And now your money it's basically a tax shelter with that vehicle because now the vehicle is going to be a business vehicle.
Yep. So you write off the full $200,000. Now your income essentially is zero for tax purposes, but not for loan purposes, you guys. So a lot of people are like, well, I want buying power.
Yeah, I don't have $200,000
exactly. To
put down on a two cars.
Yeah. So get that idea out of your head. You do not put down $200,000. You put down $0 to $5,000 per vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then you get a $50,000 check in the mail for the taxes that you had paid in if you were on W-2. If you're on 1099, then you don't have to pay the $50,000.
Yep.
So you just made $50,000 up front off $0 to $10,000 total. And then you send the vehicle off to us. We manage it for you. Right now, we're averaging around $1,000 profit per car per month. So let's say you do a 60-month loan. Now you've got $1,000 a month coming in profit, not revenues. That's profit after expenses, after paying the car payment, after paying insurance, and after paying us our fee. So now you've got an extra $1,000 a month for 60 months. That's $60,000.
Yep.
At the end of the 60 months, you sell the vehicle for, let's say, $25,000. You've got $25,000 plus $60,000 plus $50,000. That's $135,000 for $0 to $10,000 that you put down.
And not every market's going to be the same. I mean, one question some people have is, well, what if it doesn't rent out? Well, I mean, we test that. If we're doing it, we're testing the market. We'll drop the price here and there and try to find the right price point, be competitive enough to where It's not the most expensive car or the cheapest car, but enough to where it's renting consistently. And the goal for us is, if it's not renting in this market, that doesn't mean it won't rent in other markets.
Yep.
And so we're looking at expanding this operation into a bunch of different markets.
Vegas and LA should be the next two markets opened over the next month or so.
Yep.
I'm pushing really hard. I'll be going to Vegas probably next week, maybe the week after, then LA a week or two after that.
Yep.
And hopefully we'll have those up and running by the time I'm done.
Yeah.
Because really it shouldn't be that difficult.
Right.
We have really good infrastructure of people that we can work with.
Yep.
And so if a car isn't doing good in this market, which so far we've yet to have anything like that, there's 10,000 plus cars rented out a day in the Salt Lake market. We have 12 cars right now.
I know, right.
So we've got another 20 or so on the way, but we expect to have a couple hundred cars and have them all profiting nicely.
Yep.
Before we even need to have another market. But we'll have another market anyway.
And we have a full explainer video on the website. It's ride-off.com. And you can go there and watch a full YouTube video of Zach explaining how it works. There's only one caveat that we need to just update on that, and that's just it was the purchase.
You can do up to $1 million. You can purchase up to $1 million worth of vehicles or equipment in a year. I said 5 million, which is what it used to be. They change it like every year. So this year it's $1 million. Next year it might be 3 million. We'll update it each year.
And then the other thing is that 2022, if you're going to do an SUV specifically, 2022 is the year to do it, because if you do a 6,000 pound SUV or larger, you still get 100% of the write-off this year. But in 2023, it goes to 80%. 2024, 60%. And so the value that you get and it goes down all the way down to up to 25,000.
Yeah.
Is what it says.
Well, it goes all the way down to 25 or 20%.
Oh, 20%.
So you'll take 20% of the vehicle for 5 years straight, which is still really good, because in essence, you would just have to buy 5 times as many vehicles,
right,
which is still going to be much better than virtually any other tax strategy, like the cost segregation with accelerated depreciation. If you do that, you're putting down, let's say you put down $200,000, or let's say you buy $1 million property for $200,000, right?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to end up, if you do cost seg, you're going to end up with about $100,000 write-off for 6 years.
Yeah.
So you get $100,000 write-off for $200,000.
Right.
If you did $200,000 of down payments on cars, you'd get what? I mean, a lot. I'll have to do the math.
Yeah.
But yeah, if for 5,000 you get 20 times, because you get 100,000. So if you were to do 200,000, you'd get 20 times, which would be 4 million in write-offs.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's not even.
Yeah.
It's really not even close. And a lot of people are like, yeah, but that compounds my net worth with, because it's a property and it helps my buying power. This is going to help your buying power more than anything you've ever thought of, because guys, they add back all depreciation when you do your taxes. And then, you're going to be able to show more profits monthly.
Yeah.
So now you're able to show that you have more profit, more income, so added buying power.
Yeah.
Then they add back depreciation on your tax returns.
Yes.
So more buying power, 50,000 less in taxes, more buying power. Right. So if you do that in conjunction with properties, you're going to literally step up by the hundreds of thousands, if not millions, in equity per year.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to tap into personally,
yeah,
and then with the business as well.
And then I guess we should have a disclaimer here that, again, this is not something we are saying, go out and do this. This you have to do your own research. This is not financial advice. This is something we personally are doing, and we believe in the tax strategy, and that everything we're doing is according to law. So that's just a given.
Yeah, so it's 100%, legit. I mean, you can buy a car, right? You can put 0 to 5,000 down, right? Look up the laws, bonus depreciation. You can write the whole thing off.
Yep.
Even if you couldn't write the whole thing off, even writing it off over 5 years, it's still much better than even cost segregation with accelerated depreciation, which is called the billionaire maker for a reason.
Yeah.
Because it compounds your net worth so fast. Well, this is going to be even better, even if you were just taking 1/5 of the depreciation that we're able to take this year.
So let's go back and talk about the type of person that would be the best person to get into a vehicle like this. So what's the ideal person? I'd say for anybody listening,
anyone with $60,000 of income or higher. So for W-2 it'd be $60,000 in W-2 income. Because on $60,000 you probably paid $10,000 in taxes. If you can get that $10,000 back, that compounds your net worth for that year by 1/6. So it's really good. Plus, you're going to get that extra monthly income and go from making $60,000 a year to maybe it bumps you to $70,000 a year. That's a big deal. If you're on 1099, you'd want it to be $60,000 of profit or higher. So that doesn't. If you make $60,000 total, your profit's probably closer to $40,000. So at that point, you get diminishing returns on this strategy. Still, you have taxes due, so it would still be beneficial, but you wouldn't want to go as high on the car cost. You'd want to buy a $40,000 car if you have $40,000 in profit.
Does the IRS qualify what a business vehicle is? Like, do they say it like define business vehicle?
So a business vehicle needs to be something that's used 100% for business, or you're going to take, if let's say you have a business vehicle that you use for business and personal, then you're only going to say it's a 60% business vehicle, right? But with this, you're literally renting it out only. You're not using it at all. It's not a personal vehicle. No, it's I'm
not going to take my family around and drop off my kids at school and drive to, and then somebody rented it, so I'll just Uber everywhere for the next week.
It's a 100% business vehicle. If you are Turoing out your personal vehicle, well then and you do it half the time, well then you're only going to be able to write off half the vehicle, guys. You can't take the full amount and then use it a bunch for personal driving.
And then from people like me, non-tax background, what does bonus depreciation, what is the section 179, define those? How do those work?
Those are two different tax tax breaks that were given by passed through Congress and then put into the IRS code, and they're basically there to stimulate the economy. Section 179 goes back a ways, and that was kind of the go-to for a long time, where you could write off X amount of equipment purchased during any year of business,
like tractors and cars and work trucks and that kind of thing.
Anything equipment related. It could be computers at your office. If you bought like 50 computers, you could 179 those. So it kind of gave you a go-to way to take those expenses all at once, or you could opt to take a portion of it 179 and then spread the rest out over the next 4 years. I mean, however was best for your tax situation. And then, so that was the go-to for a long time. We used that a bunch before we started COS. And then Trump came into office and passed the bonus depreciation rules through Congress, and that one was another big economic stimulus thing. So it basically made it even easier to take a large amount of depreciation. I mean, it's 100% on any vehicle 6,000 pounds or more, and then you could actually get on vehicles that were less than 6,000 pounds, you could get like a bonus first year depreciation. So instead of taking 1/5, you could take up to 18,000 first year on a small car, and in some situations I believe you could even double that. But the biggest benefit is for vehicles over 6,000 pounds.
And the way it connected with me, and hopefully this helps some people understand. So I saw it as something that general contractors, farmers, ranchers, people who had to haul heavy equipment, who needed a bigger truck or an SUV that was going to be some sort of like vehicle to be able to transport stuff. That's what it was meant for. But you can't disqualify other people just because they don't do that specific thing.
And actually vehicles, that's what it kind of seems would be the biggest thing. But big SUVs and trucks, really that's the meat of the whole thing.
Totally.
Because what stimulates the economy more than every small business, like on average, say 40% of them going out and buying a new SUV or truck.
Right.
Nothing's going to stimulate the economy faster than that is.
Sure.
So it's big oil. It's these big companies lobbying with Congress to pass these laws.
Think about how much, tires, mechanic shops, it stimulates the economy so much because it touches so many different
gasoline,
people. Gasoline,
oil.
You've got the
electric
dealers,
side of stuff.
the electric side of stuff, and it just goes on and on. And now there's these people that ride share. Now you can do all these other things that are pretty amazing.
Oh yeah. So in my opinion, there's nothing better for stimulating the economy than this bonus depreciation. That's why people say, well, it's going down next year. I say, guys, we've had Section 179 for so long, and then it was bonus depreciation, and now it's going to be next year. They're probably going to say, oh, you can do a mix of 179 and bonus.
Or something
new. So it's going to be 100% again.
Sure.
That's my guess.
Okay.
If not, it's still extremely good at 80%. Plus, guys, if you decide, oh, hey, let me do a Jeep, what's it called? The Jeep that's half electric?
Yeah, it's like the Jeep Unlimited E something.
Yeah, if you do that vehicle, you get a $7,500 EV credit. If you do the like Tesla Model X,
which
if you do
EV is electric vehicle credit for a tax credit.
Exactly. So the Jeep is only like 20% electric. It's 25 miles of range is what the guy told us yesterday.
Is that all it is?
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's not even very much, but by buying that vehicle, he's getting the entire deduction. He's going to get the monthly income. He's going to be able to sell the vehicle at the end, and to add to his $40,000 in tax savings up front, he's also going to get a $7,500 credit, which is the same as having an extra $30,000 expense.
Yep.
Because a credit means dollar for dollar tax savings.
Right.
And I know that
and credits are the best of the best. That's what you want.
There's something in the pipeline right now that's saying that these credits may be refundable as well. So if that's the case, it's going to open up the door to...
Are you double dipping at that point?
Yeah, because right now, if you get down to zero taxes and you've still got the credit gets moved to next year.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, whereas if, say, someone that made $40,000 buying a vehicle doesn't really do much for them unless they get a credit, which is going to allow them to put an extra $7,500 in their pocket on top of all this monthly income and the value of the vehicle when it's all paid off.
Okay.
So it just adds to that, like lowers the amount that someone needs to make. Right now, I'd say it's beneficial for someone 50, 60,000 or more.
Yep.
It's definitely very beneficial for you.
So let's say I didn't buy a car. I made $200,000. I didn't buy a car, and I was on W-2. I'm married. I have kids, right? What am I looking at paying in tax on $200K?
Before
the credit.
$50,000.
$50,000 in tax. It's coming out of my paycheck automatically. And what this does is essentially you're starting an LLC or an S corporation, and you are the vehicle now is it's for that business. The purpose of the vehicle is to rent out on something like Turo. Or you drive it around doing Uber or Lyft or whatever.
Yep, you can do it yourself or send it to someone.
Or like us, we have a Turo management service where we can manage the whole vehicle. But if they do it themselves, it still qualifies. And now they're getting the entire vehicle. If it's let's say I paid $50,000 in tax, but the vehicle was $50,000, what am I looking at in tax?
Well, in tax savings at that point, if you bought a $100,000 car, you're going to save a little more than half of the $50,000 in taxes, so maybe $30,000.
Yeah.
So if you spend $50,000, you might save $15,000.
Okay, but still, that's $15,000 more than I would have been able to save.
Yeah, you just compounded your net worth by $15,000 plus added monthly revenue plus the amount of the vehicle value at the end.
Yeah.
So the very best thing you can do, assuming that the monthly income will be there, which so far we've seen no slowdown, would be to whatever your top profit amount is. If it's $200,000, then you would get $200,000 worth of vehicles. That does not mean you put $200,000 down. And we were just at door-to-door con, and the guy gets up and he's like ripping on tax firms, saying there's this accounting firm out there saying to go out and buy, if you made $200,000, go spend $200,000 on a car. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Well, first off, he didn't listen to anything, because we never once said go spend $200,000 on cars.
Right.
We said you put $0 down or $5,000 down per car. So that's $0 to $10,000 down on $200,000 worth of cars. That's essentially going to make you $125,000 per vehicle based on the math that we just did. Over the next 5 or 6 years. So if you think about it, if you make $200,000 this year and you do that, you just added $250,000 or so. And then next year you make $300,000. So you do $300,000 worth. You just added $375,000. You do it again the next year at $400,000. You just added, $600,000. And so on. Think of what that does to you're growing a fleet of vehicles. You're also doing properties at the same time. It's kind of like you're starting a taxi service. You're buying all these vehicles to rent out that people can drive around, and they're paying you for it. It's a business. Yeah, exactly.
It's a legitimate business.
100% legitimate. I mean, I can't think of a better business, because it's 100% passive, or as passive as you want it to be.
Right.
If you want to, if you're a husband, wife, and say one of you doesn't work full time, well then guys, you don't have to send the vehicle off to a Turo management service. You can have your wife manage it. And now you make 100% of the revenue.
You're not paying a Turo management service to do it.
You will find that is ungodly, amount of work, and the driving back and forth. You can't have people just come pick it up at your house. You're not going to rent out your vehicle.
And that's something to consider. A lot of people don't realize that on Turo, the only way you're going to get a lot of rentals is if you're willing to go take it to the local airport. And either drop it off and have them pick it up, and you have a key code or you have a lockbox or something that they get into, or you personally drop it off. And that's the better way, because then they just grab their luggage, you drop off the vehicle, hand them the keys, and walk away, and then they just drive off in that vehicle, and then you just have somebody come pick you up, or you Lyft or Uber home. And that seems like the most logical and the best way for the client or the customer who's purchasing the rental. Right.
Yeah, because they don't want to catch an Uber to your house. Like, we had a guy here yesterday saying his vehicle's not renting out at all. But he's an hour from the airport, and he is wanting people to come pick it up.
If you're not doing delivery, it's what they're going to pay $75 to go all the way, an extra $75 to get your vehicle. Whereas if you do, you can even pay for delivery, and people will pay for it, so they don't have to take the time to go all the way with all their luggage, transfer from vehicle to vehicle, and all these things. So
exactly.
So let's go into, here's the cool part of what we're doing, just on our own our own service, and the competitive advantage we're going to have versus other companies. Let's talk about that.
Sure. Yeah. So one really, really cool thing, this is kind of an idea we came up with together. We had a couple people tell us about some services they'd heard of, and we kind of put our own spin on it. We think it is amazing, but in each market, so right now, starting in Salt Lake, then Vegas, then LA, we're going to have a large parking lot near the airport. Hopefully, it'll be a 2,000 car parking lot. We might start off with a 200 car parking lot. But yeah, at each market, you've got your lot, right? And any regular person can drive in there. Say they're going to New York for a week. They can drive in there and park for $10 a night. and then we shuttle them to the airport. Or they can elect to sign a form that allows us to rent out their vehicle while they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
Now the parking's free even if we don't rent it out. If we do rent it out, now they've got a check waiting for them when they get back from vacation. So think about that, guys. If you go on vacation, you're a
let's say
regular,
3 weeks.
Yeah,
go 3 weeks on vacation.
you're a
with your
regular
family.
income family. You saved up to do this 3-week Disney World vacation.
Sure.
And you're worried about the money, right?
Sure.
Everybody's worried about the money.
$5,000.
Yeah.
$10,000 or what? $20,000, whatever it costs to be able to go.
Let's say we rent it out for $100 a day while they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
For 3 weeks, that's 21 days. It's $2,100. We take our 35%, and they're left with $1,300 check when they get back.
And they didn't do anything.
Yeah,
we detailed.
they
We washed the car. We cleaned it out. We got it ready for rental. We
they get
managed
a
it while they were
free
gone.
detail while they're gone. So when they get back, it's
Cleaner.
much better, much cleaner than when they left it.
Yeah.
So that's just a really cool thing we're doing. Well, the competitive advantage for those people that send us their vehicles is this: 40% of the profits from that lot will be put into a pool that will be spread out amongst all the owners of the vehicles that are sent to us
that we
to
regularly manage, not the
Yes.
ones that are just there at those 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But the ones that we manage on a daily basis.
Yes.
Yeah.
That-
so you
yeah,
make profits not just on your own vehicle, but on the lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the lot, you guys, when it gets to a 2,000 car parking lot, those lots can make $1 million a month in revenues and $400,000 in profit.
Mm-hmm.
So we take 40% of that $400,000, that's $660,000.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to go into a pool and be split amongst
100 cars.
100 cars.
Yeah.
That's really nice extra money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like way nice, because say your vehicle is renting out enough that you're profiting $400, but we're able to add $250 to that from that parking lot. That's a big difference.
Yep.
It's a over 50% jump.
Yeah, and then what we're planning on doing at each lot is having also a detail service. So if somebody comes and parks the car, then we can say, hey, you don't qualify for the rental because we'll have certain restrictions on it. But if you'd like, we can detail your car while you're gone. Here's the 3 packages that you could choose
25, 50, or 100.
Yeah, and you get like the full service or the basic package and good to go.
Yeah.
And so there's lots of little things. We want to do covered parking whenever possible when we get to that point, and then also have charging stations there as well.
Yep, and then we'll make money off gas, filling up vehicles. We're also going to have the option to finance vehicles and sell vehicles because we're looking to buy a dealership. Just because of the synergies that creates for us.
Yeah.
So there should be a lot of profits coming out of the parking lot.
Yep.
And I just think that idea is really cool because it sets us apart from other managing firms that are just giving you your percentage of the revenues.
Yep. Totally.
I also feel like, no one could be renting them out more than us. Our vehicles are like, we put a vehicle on 2 days ago. Within 24 hours, it had 7 bookings.
It was like 16 hours. It had
16
7
hours, yeah.
It had 7.
Yep, and what's crazy is 2 days before that, you listed your car.
Yeah, my old car.
Thing.
It had 130,000 miles on it, and it has like 10 bookings right now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And you talked about it in the YouTube video, but it was within 24 hours. It had 7 bookings.
Yeah,
not even 24 hours. Like again, 18 hours.
And you were going to sell the vehicle for very little.
I was like, I'll make some on it. The car's fully paid off, but I'm like, I don't know if you guys have tried selling a car recently on like private. Man, these guys who go around with saying, "Oh, I need you to go to dataverification.net and put in the pay for the service." I'm like, you're gonna get hit up like crazy by those.
He was getting scammed left and right. And
well, I didn't get scammed, but they were attempting.
They were trying to.
Yeah. So then I'm like, you know what? It's not even worth it. Let me just see if it'll even rent out an older vehicle, 2013 Infiniti.
Yeah.
And away.
It's scuffed up.
It's got paint issues. And it's got some door dings and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't care. They're like, oh, $50 a day. I'll take that.
Exactly.
And it rents out. And I'm making passive profits. So.
Yeah.
Because now I have my guys just dropping it off and picking it up.
Yeah. It's awesome.
So cool.
Yep, we added a Porsche. We just added a e-tron.
Yep,
we're adding another e-tron.
We've got 3 more vehicles that our company is buying, which is a Navigator, a Yukon Denali, and a Range Rover Defender.
Yep.
And that one's a 7-seater, which is big.
Yep.
Again, when you think of these vehicles, it's got to be something that you think of like they want to cram as many people in there as possible and be able to fit stuff. So roof racks, ski racks, those are important.
Ski equipment, snowboarding equipment, camping gear.
Yep.
You can also
strollers, baby, child seats.
So we have strollers available, child seats available.
Prepaid refuel. They'll pay $75.
Have skis and snowboards and stuff. I mean, like, what else could we add?
People will pay $75 to $100 for prepaid refuel, and they'll return it with half tank of gas.
Yep.
So little ways that increase your revenue quite a bit.
And we're doing that now.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and you think outside the box, and you think, okay, there's all these things that you can do. The one question that a lot of people have is about insurance with Turo. Yep. So Turo has like 5 different options, and you can start as low as like 65%. That meaning Turo's going to take 35 to 40% of the total revenue of the car. So if it's $1,000, you're going to walk away with $650, right?
Yep.
And they're going to take the remaining $350. Now with that, you have a 0 deductible, and you get, if there's an accident,
like you're fully covered to the max.
And they even pay you if your car is out of service. So you could do that, but you're missing out on 35% of profits every single rental.
Yes.
And how many accidents do you think will happen on that vehicle over the life of it? Maybe 1 or 2 per vehicle over a 5-year span.
Yep.
Right? Realistically, there aren't that many accidents.
Yeah.
I mean, there are, and you have to be prepared for that.
Yep.
So we changed it to where we do 90% profit for us, 10% to Turo. We get $750,000 in liability coverage, but there's no benefit to, like, if our car's out of service, they don't pay us.
Yeah.
So we switched it to that because we're willing to risk
because we have insurance.
Yep. And
Turo
it's a $2,500 deductible that we would have to pay if there was an accident per accident, right? And then Turo would cover the rest.
Yeah.
So that's something to consider.
Normally, these insurance things are a great way for the company to make money. Like if you sign up for insurance through a rental car company, they're making money hand over fist on each time you do that. The airlines, if you pay for the insurance on your ticket, they're making money hand over fist again.
Most likely the airline owns the insurance company.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so it's just charging an extra amount.
Great way to make money. So, and in this case, Turo's covered. We're covered, and then each person that buys and sends a vehicle to us is covered because if you're putting 0 to 5,000 down, you've got to have full coverage on the vehicle. So there's a lot of coverage there, nothing really to worry about.
Yeah, but with us, we're like, okay, we're gonna have tens, hundreds, potentially thousands of vehicles, and we need every dollar we can get to grow this business. Right? Our goal is to be a standalone company, not have to rely on Turo. But in order to do that, we need cash. We need cash on a regular basis to be able to come in, but also enough to protect ourselves if something drastic does happen that doesn't bankrupt us. Right?
Exactly.
I think there's a lot of things to really consider in this. It's a really cool business. The car share idea.
Yeah.
I think there's some big things that could be improved on the process, the delivery and pickup. There aren't many good, if you were looking at getting into a business, a really good business idea would be something that could automatically unlock doors from a distance. I know some cars have that, but something that is universal for every car. That would be awesome. I know that like in LA, not in Salt Lake, you can get Turo's unlock feature on every vehicle.
Yeah, we saw that yesterday.
But that's not something that's available in our area. So I'm interested in seeing what that looks like and see if we can expand that or grow on those ideas and things like that. You start thinking about the host process as well as the renter process, and there's some major things that could be improved on, but I don't want to give all my secrets away.
Exactly. So. Good idea.
So anyway, I think again, take the content for what it's worth. Check with your accountant or your your lawyer and make sure this is something that's good for you. This is not something, we are not saying go do this and you're dumb if you don't. We're saying it's a great opportunity if it's something that you're willing to take a little bit of risk on, but also save quite a bit of money, even if you just got the tax savings. It's amazing. Just the tax savings, because you have this asset, you could always sell it.
Yeah, when you're looking at an investment that's 0 to 5,000 for 125,000 average return, the risk is not doing it.
Yeah, totally.
That is the risk. Now, are we saying to go do it? No. This is what we do. We personally do it.
Yep.
As a business, we do it. If we didn't own the business, I'd be finding a Turo company to manage my vehicles.
Yep.
Because it is an absolute no-brainer, in my opinion. It's not financial advice, but it is what we're doing, and we love it.
And if you are interested in talking to us further, we're available. You go to ride-off.com, fill out the contact form. I will text you personally. So I'm going to message you, and we'll set up a time to talk, and we can go through everything. So we're not to the point where we are beyond communicating with people. Soon we'll have a team that does all the intake, but right now it's us. We're the guys. So we'd love to have a conversation with you and see what we could do to help your business grow or your net worth grow. I mean, that's the name of the podcast is the Compounding Interests Podcast.
That's what we
do.
Our
personal interests, right? Stuff like this.
Yeah.
But then also how to compound your net worth.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
Anything else?
I think that's good.
Cool.
No.
All right, guys.
Thanks for listening.
And until the next time, go and compound those interests.
We're going to say that every time.
Every single time, and he's going to love it.
All right.
You're going to love it.
It is. It's great.
Okay. All right.
All right.